things Catholic and traditional. We are going to be organising, in addition to the traditional Mass, trips to the local area to celebrate our shared Catholic history. We will be particularly celebrating the traditions of our faith. Initially, we may begin by visiting places near the Abbey, but we are also planning to visit London, for example, to pray at the tomb of King Edward the Confessor, visiting Shrewsbury and other places, Winchester. The archive here at Dowie also houses important relics, which we will also be able to see. This will be an opportunity for us to pray where the saints once walked. Martyrs, secret rooms, priest holes, missionary clergy riding horses under the cover of night, betrayal, civil war, conversion, fines for not attending church, recusancy. For historians interested in their local history, and especially for us Catholics, Tony Hadland's book, Thames Valley Papists, is professionally researched, inspiring, and takes the reader back into this world of the past. Its full title is Thames Valley Papists from Reformation to Emancipation, 1534 to 1829. By Thames Valley, the author means an area covering pre-1974 Berkshire, southern Oxfordshire and parts of South Buckinghamshire. I first read this book 20 years ago and have since visited many of the places he mentions. Tony Hadland's books, many of the places are very close to the Abbey. For instance, Dorchester upon Thames, where St Birinus was the first bishop, Abingdon Abbey, Reading Abbey, and the story of its last abbot, Blessed Hugh Farringdon. Stonor House, associated with St Edmund Campion, Basing House, site of a Catholic slaughter during the Civil War, and Mapledurham House near Reading. I will give a few examples of the many incidents and relics identified by Tony Hadland, our devout time traveller. As we visit these places, we'll see if there's any new information that we can gather and whether these facts have changed over the last 30 years. According to Tony, one of the earliest mentions of Catholicism in the Thames Valley is a baptismal font found in Caversham, Reading, which bears a Cairo symbol dated at the time around 360. Hadland says that this font is in Reading Museum, which houses several artefacts of interest to us from both Reading Abbey and the Roman city of Silchester. While visiting the museum, nearby is also the monastery ruins. The museum itself is situated in between Reading Abbey's former parish church and one of their guest houses, still extant. In 634, Saint Birinus, a missionary monk from Rome, travelled to England. The following year at Dorchester upon Thames, in the river he baptised King Cynegiles. All subsequent kings of Wessex and England were baptised Christian. Birinus became Bishop of Dorchester, which stretched from Winchester to Lincoln. Varinus is mentioned in Bede's Ecclesiastical History, one of the few Wessex saints mentioned in that book. In 1964, the shrine to Varinus was restored at Dorchester Abbey. This abbey also contains an impressive medieval Jesutree carved in stone on the eastern window. In a small museum there are a few vestments on display, and in the small Catholic church opposite there is a small chalice which can be taken apart for concealment, probably dating 1583, dated from a letter to Cardinal Allen informing the writer the priest had ordered such chalices to be made. The church is mentioned in this month's Catholic Herald, stating also that there is a sung extraordinary Mass every Sunday at 11 o'clock. Very close to Dowie Abbey itself, there can still be seen fish ponds at one time belonging to Reading Abbey. The monks needed a plentiful supply of fish, as they abstained from meat, at least the well ones did, as the rule of St. Benedict states. The last abbot of Reading Abbey was executed in November 1539, Blessed Hugh Farringdon. According to Tony Hadland, the abbot's remains were retrieved and buried at Breer Court near Pangbourne, which was owned by Reading Abbey. In the late 17th century, 3 lead coffins were found under the floor of this house and subsequently reburied. Where, one wonders, he doesn't say. Something to be investigated. The ruins of Reading Abbey have just been reopened after restoration, and this year a new bust of Hugh Farringdon himself has been placed on the Abbey gateway. Slightly further away is near Henley is Stonor House. This is the site of Campion's printing press. St. Campion often travelled the Thames Valley on horse, staying in nearby Recusant houses. As for a lesser known story, Tony Hadland tells us that in the Bell Inn at Henley, which is still open today, a Father Gunness had been in conversation during which he praised Campion and thus betrayed himself. He had 2 consecrated communion wafers concealed on him and was sent to jail at Southwark. In Basingstoke, during the Civil War, Basing House, a Catholic house supporting the Royalist cause, remained under siege for most of that conflict, only falling at the end the 10th of October 1645. On that day, between 40 and 100 of the occupants were killed, including 6 Catholic priests. Indeed, the Marquis is said to have said to send away the non-Catholics, so that only the Catholics would remain till the end. It was also said that the Marquis himself was found saying his rosary in a bread oven. This site is well worth a visit, just over 10 miles from Dowie Abbey, where the foundations of the house can still be seen, where they made their last stand. Other places to visit is Mapledurham House, just outside Reading, which has priest holes and an early Catholic chapel permitted at the time of Emancipation in 1829. There is a rosary procession there each year. These are just a few examples of the very rich history that Tony Hadland gives to us in his book, and places nearby which can be visited from here: Stonor House, the fish ponds, Reading Abbey, Dorchester upon Thames, and other houses. He also mentions the Catholic house in East Hendred, which is still owned by a descendant of Thomas More, who claims to have the beer tankard of St. Thomas More. So maybe we can even get to see that. And to remind you that also we're thinking of other places we can visit in the coming years and place articles on the website to celebrate the faith, the inheritance of our faith, and the tradition of our faith. Thank you, and see you soon.